Today is Saturday, June 22nd, 2013, and we're at the home of Warnell Riley in Stockbridge, Georgia, to capture some Paulk Tomberlin history from her perspective. So Warnell, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Warnell Riley. I'm about the sixth child and I'm from a large family. And I was born in Baxley, Georgia, better known as Appleton County. My husband, ex-husband, was Eddie Riley. I have 3 children and 4 grandchildren. My mother's name was Emma Sumner Tomlin. Is that the way we want it? Emma Tomlin. Okay. My father's name was Barney Sumner. My mother's parents' name were Glenn Tomlin and Winnie Tomlin.
Okay. Now, what can you tell us about the Paulk Tomberlin family history? What are some of your memories of that?
My fondest memory was to sit and listen to
It was that
I
fun,
didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I used to sit and listen to the older people talk about how they had some rich old person in the family, and he had black and white working for him. Somewhere
Who
or
was
another.
he? Who was he?
I guess Uncle George.
Uncle George? Okay.
Uncle George people. Daddy or something. I don't remember what his name was. This is when they come to back.
In Baxley, okay.
But they, at that time, I'm sorry, maybe I need to back up and start again. This family started in Ocilla, Georgia. And I guess it was a great-grandfather had a lot of property. He had people working for him, black and white. Some way or another, the white people became jealous of him. Also, they liked the women because all my aunts was very pretty. And they said that the white always liked the aunts, my aunts and grandmamas and all of them. And anyway, I guess it was Grandpap, I think that was his name, decided he was going to leave Ocilla. So he got them all together, and they got in wagons, and Aunt Lou Jean was in the number, and they stopped at Cheney Creek, and Aunt Lou Jean caught fish and fed everybody. And they went on to Baxley, and that's where they set up at. And I also thought it was nice because they said the friendship come from Uncle George and Grandpa, 2 brother-in-laws, being friends. And until they died, they were still friends, the best of friends.
Is this Uncle George Paulk?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uncle George and Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Grandpa
Glenn.
Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, now that all comes clear now.
Uh-huh.
See.
So they were friends, but then Grandpa met Uncle George's sister, and he married Uncle George's
So it's
sister.
like 2
Winnie.
Yeah,
2 friends.
2 friends married to.
yeah, 2 friends.
And one of the
And one of them
friends
married. I guess Uncle George should have never took Grandpa home with him.
That was.
So that's Winnie Paulk.
Yeah, that's how he got in the Paulk family.
Okay, all right, well, that's clear now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. What is the difference between life back then and life today? The difference, which I'm quite sure.
What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Love, respect, and some education, but they didn't have too much of it, but they had a lot of love and respect for one another. And what your granddaddy told my mother or told anybody, we did it. We didn't have to wait to go back to, you know, the other parents and they would say, well, he's right, do it. they didn't get upset because you correct
Right.
somebody else's child. That was a big difference
And
there.
then it really was, it takes a village to raise a child, so
That's right.
they lived by that.
Yes, they did.
Look, if you were able to meet with past generations of the Paulk Tomberlins, describe how you think that meeting would be. If you can go back there. Yeah. How do you think it would be right now?
I don't know. I'm gonna
It'll
be
be
truthful
different.
with you because it's such a different now, and what's so touching. I was just in Bible study all week, vacation Bible school all week, and we talked about the difference now and the difference back then, you know. And it's so much different. We had to help look out for our sisters and brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And at this day and time, nobody looks out for nobody, you know, but self.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time when I tell somebody to do something, a child, even Tyler, to do something, he expected money.
That's true.
They expect money, you know. And we had chores to do. They don't know what chores are, you know.
Exactly.
It's different.
So, other question.
What's that?
Okay, this is, who is the oldest family member that you can remember?
Oldest
The
one
oldest one.
that I can remember.
Mm-hmm. And tell us what you know about that person.
This living or
It could be living
Back
or
then.
past. Well,
is.
I guess going back.
but it could go back.
In the family
For
line.
family.
Going back.
I guess my grandparents. I guess that would be the oldest.
What do you remember about them?
Well, I would say Grandpa. Grandpa was such a outgoing person. He went to church regardless.
Now, what was Grandpa's name?
Grandpa Glenn, I'm sorry.
Grandpa Glenn. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
he
good.
went to church regardless. And Sunday school. And everybody, and let me tell you one thing he used to say. He used to be talking in Sunday school and he'll say something about maybe Uncle Dude or Uncle Art drinking something, and he might say something about her being a fool or something. He'll say, now I can say that about my children, but you can't say that. You know. And he would talk on, you know, and talk on, and maybe it might come up something about his girls or whoever. He said, now I can say this, but you can't say it.
Now, speaking of that, I want to ask you this, and you may not tell us this, but going all the way back, can you remember the biggest trouble you got into with your dad or your mom? Like something you did.
Yes. I remember my mother had ordered maybe about 100 or 50 or something chickens, little chicken. And she would put them out in the sun. So one day I decided I would do it before she, you know, asked me to do it. And I put them out there and it must have been 100 degrees. Well, my mama knowed anything, all them chickens were dead.
Oh. So what was your punishment?
Good answer.
Because that was food. Wasn't that a source for food, right?
Yes,
This chicken,
that's right.
So that's why you got that. I can see. Oh, Lord. So you didn't sit down for a couple of days, huh? You didn't sit down for a couple of days? Oh, I imagine you didn't do that one anymore. What was one of the back in high school? What was one of the popular dances that y'all did?
Let's see. I guess we call it swinging. I guess
Swinging.
that's what they would call it. Swinging.
So were you a dancer?
Yes.
You
yes.
love dancing.
Yes, I taught all my brothers how to dance.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I got it from.
I guess it runs in the family. Now I have another question. If you could speak to the younger females, just the females of our family, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
On what?
On life,
family,
that, yeah,
anything.
just the females.
I don't know. I talk to the boys so much. I should probably just tell them what I tell Tyler and Travis.
Okay, well,
No,
we can
I
do
just
this.
said that. I guess always be careful. Don't do something that you regret later, because it's so hard to change things, and a lot of times don't say things that you shouldn't say, because it's so hard to change things. I used to say, don't drop your candy in the sand, because you won't ever get the grit off.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Now, say if today was your last day on earth, how would you want people to remember you? What would you want them to know about Warnell Riley?
Well, I would like, let me see, how do I want to put this? This might not be what you're looking for. Live today like Christ came yesterday, and he's returning tomorrow. But I don't want nobody to take me as perfect, because I never was perfect. I don't profess to be. But I just hope and pray. I hope and pray that this is a good experience for some of the kids that follow me. I've lived a life that some of them could follow.
Well, that's good. Like Daddy always have told us, live like Jesus is coming today, and you never do anything wrong, because you don't know what time of the day he's coming.
That's right.
That's a good one.
That's right. You know, I used to hear Cousin Ed, you got it off. I used to hear Cousin Ed Seed say, tell about how you should be careful how you walk, because you never who's walking behind you or in your track. He said one day he was walking across the field. I think it was Cousin Ed. He said he was walking across the field, and one of the grands was behind him. I don't know if it was Queen Ella or somebody. And he said that he looked around. He said, and as he was walking, and he was trying to step on a knot or something. He said everything he stepped on, that child stepped right in his track. So you should be careful, because somebody is watching.
Always. Well, Cousin Warnell, like I said, we have certainly enjoyed sitting with you today. It has really been a pleasure, and I have learned some stuff that I didn't know before. So we just want to thank you for taking the time out to sit with us and do this today.
You're welcome, and I thank you for coming to see me too.